technology, and I'll be arguing on the major claim that our over-reliance on modern technology makes humans less intelligent. It is true that technology is useful as we're able to connect with people through social networking sites such as Facebook, Instagram, Skype, and also us students access Wikipedia most often to find answers to most of our questions. And the most important point of technology is that it can be accessed anywhere at any time. And since then, we rely on it to the point where we say we cannot live without technology. This idea was previously predicted by a famously known German physicist, Albert Einstein. He claimed, "I fear that technology will surpass our human interaction." He feared that the advancement in technology would lead to ignorance in the coming generation. This is where the base of my argument comes from. An article from Boston news station Here and Now in August 2013 talks of this 8th grader from Connecticut. His name is Thomas Turley. He was a contestant in Kiss Jeopardy, and he made it to the final question. And the final question was, what was the document Abraham Lincoln wrote? And the answer is the Emancipation Proclamation. Yet, although he got the question right, he misspelled it as the Emancipation Proclamation, adding a T in emancipation. This was counted against him, and after the competition, Hurley claims that he was cheated out of the competition, claiming that it was just a spelling error. Defenders claim that the current generation is an autocorrect generation and that spelling should not matter. This leads to my major claim that technology is making us unintelligent. With this in mind, my argument consists of two main points: technology is misinterpreted, and that it is giving us an unintentional effect. My first claim is that technology is misinterpreted. This is supported by an example on an article, Is Wikipedia a Reliable Source? It talks of an incident where baseball fans, specifically of the Yankees and the Phillies, used Wikipedia to insult opposing teams during the World Series. These insults, of course, were taken down immediately, yet this emphasizes that information can be altered online really easily and can be edited anonymously by anyone. Of course, this idea that Wikipedia has informing us is widely known, yet research also proved in the same article that in 2009, physicians use Wikipedia as a source of information. Another example we can relate to is that students, we all use Wikipedia, although told not to, for our researches. This leads to the interpretation as a cheating tool. Expanding the reliance of Wikipedia, technology news website called Tech News Daily reported that 55% of college residents saw an increase in plagiarism, and 89% of it was blamed on technology. These are all intentional effects that can be easily prevented by caution. Yet, technology also gives us an unintentional effect. This is my second claim. British news website WordPress and BBC News of May 2012 claimed that a poll on 2,000 people, and a third of those 2,000, which is about 33%, could not spell the word definitely, and 2/3, which is about 66%, could not spell the word necessary. This reveals the problem with autocorrect. Autocorrect corrects our spelling automatically, sometimes without us even noticing. Also, statistics prove the effect on social networking sites. This is used most commonly by us students, and it proves that it affects our grade point average. Taken from MSNBC News of 2010, an article, Facebook can lower grades by 20%, claims that college students on Facebook while studying or doing homework are getting a GPA of 3.06, while non-users are getting an average of 3.82, which is a 0.74 difference. This is a significant difference for us students. Problems are also seen in children in maps and clocks. Children do not find an intention in learning to read maps and learning to read clocks, and it was proven in a news website, Free Republic, that 2,950 parents found that only 66% teach their children to read a traditional clock, because digital clocks were more common and children did not find the purpose. This is because of our overusing technology. A 2010 Kaiser Foundation study showed that elementary school children use on average 7.5 hours per day on entertainment on technology, while a National Center on Educational Statistics claimed that a national elementary school has 6.7 hours of pastime in 2010. This means that while 7.5 are used on entertainment, only 6.7 is applied to study. And because of this, a newspaper article on Huffington Post comments that an increase in diagnosis of ADHD, autism, coordination disorder, speech difficulties, and learning difficulties is seen. As such, over-reliance on technology has given us a negative effect on intelligence. Research claims that it may partially affect learning disabilities, such as the examples given previously. To conclude, my argument is proven that technology has overtaken our ability to think. This has led to a drop in GPA and children's will to learn. This effect has now been named the 21st century epidemic, which clarifies that Einstein's predictions were true. Thank you.
Yeah. You do. We have like 15 seconds left.
I like to recall.
All right, well, I think this time we'll start on a couple of weaknesses because there were a lot of good things, and that'll make it easier for me to finish on all the good things that came up. The first thing occurs to me is that you kind of start off with the proposition, and it sounds like it's the Einstein quote, and you've got a propositional statement there, and then about a minute later you have a different propositional statement. I mean, they're both connected to each other, but you want to be advocating one proposition, so that's a little bit confusing. I do think that the secondary points they're labeled pretty clearly and signposted pretty clearly. I'm not always sure that they're making the inferences that you want us to make. I think they need to be a little bit sharper. Your delivery is pretty good, although I do think you're a little dependent on the notes. Part of that is because you have so much research that you're relying on, and maybe a little bit of practice would help. It wasn't bad. I'm just talking about places where you could improve. On the other hand, let's talk about a lot of the things that are really solid here. I thought that you explained the controversy very effectively. You previewed the contents for the audience very well. You did a good job establishing some credibility as a speaker on the subject. You're very consistent about citing the evidence that you present. I do think sometimes that there is some big inferential leaps being made from the evidence. Just as an example, the two terms that you mentioned that people have difficulty spelling, necessary and definite. What would be interesting would be to know if people before widespread access to technology could spell necessary and definite at a relatively high level, and that we've lost that over a period of time. I think you've made an inference that there's a problem with people's ability to spell. You know what? When I was a kid, lots of people couldn't spell worth a damn. So I'm not exactly sure that technology is to blame for that. And in fact, technology may fix some of those problems for people when it comes to at least writing. So I think you may have a little bit of a reasoning issue that's going on there, but I thought you did an excellent job in citing the evidence, and there's a lot of information in the presentation to back up your claim. Thank you.